Hey old soul, just over a year ago I sold everything I owned and moved to the land of Bali with my ex-husband and 3 kids. Now I live my dream life, traveling first class around the world, teaching others how to do the same. If you are ready for a life that is so abundant and free, where money flows like air so effortlessly that you don't even care because you are simply focusing on you and allowing everything to be true, then you are exactly where you need to be. Let me teach you how to be wildly abundant and insanely free. I'm singing on school holidays. My boys are upstairs making waves. My daughter's at Pony Club. It's school holidays. The boys are upstairs making waves. We're having a good time, giving a good old rhyme. I'm going to show you how to be limitless. Limitless. Okay, I'm going to, it's coming through the channel. Limitless. Most of this earth is made from water. Water. Most of our bodies are made from water. Water is the ultimate blessing. We cannot survive without water. So I am going to explain being limitless through the element of water. Now, this is so funny because my astrology chart doesn't have any water in it, but I'm so drawn to the water that it's like everything. I'm like, oh, I love water. I have to be near water. I have to be with it. Now, to be limitless is to be like water. It's to flow. It's to not get stuck, because remember, source energy is always pure. It's always coming through. And if we are not being like water, we're not being flexible with our belief systems, we're not able to flow through the current of life. We're not able to flow. And I'm laughing right now because I remember speaking to one of my ex-partners about the masculine and the feminine. And I always explained it like the river banks were the masculine and the river current is the feminine flow. And I remember him being like, it's like the waterfall is the masculine and the river is the feminine. And I just like laugh every time, but I'm like, no judgment. We all look at life a different way, and that's what makes life so goddamn beautiful. So when we're being like water, we're not going to get stuck. That is the only way we can be limitless. Every single day of my life, even on the darkest days, even on the days where there was not money in my bank account and I felt like the biggest failure and I hit the bottom of the darkest room in my psyche, I would preach this one thing, that heaven on earth does exist. It gets to be so goddamn good you don't know what hit you. I preached it every single day over and over again. I believed in the invisible even though it wasn't present in my visible reality. Then Bali presented itself, the opportunity to move to Bali and remove all the shackles, all the things that were holding me back, all of my blockages. And if I was not like water, I would not have been able to get beyond my belief system to make that a reality. So I flowed with it. I allowed the clairaudience to speak through me, and I went with the riverbanks. There is a soul path. I'm getting so many goosebumps right now. There is a soul path for you that is so true, that is written in the stars. And when you are not like water, you're not going to be able to go down the slide of life and follow your soul path. Now, I've spoken to many shamans and spiritual teachers over the years to understand this journey of life and to really understand, hey, Sarah Jane, how are you, beautiful soul? Really understand how we can't screw it up. Because our ego wants to go, no, there is a right and there is a wrong. And our soul's like, no, you can never screw this up. But how is that true? How do we know if we fully lived out the truth of all that we are? And the best analogy I ever got from a beautiful teacher was that we have a soul-led path and we have our shadow path. And the shadow path is a bit like being lost in the woods. And there's nothing wrong with being in the shadow path, because you're still going through life and you're still going down the river current, and it doesn't matter if it takes you 10,000 lifetimes to learn that lesson, or if it takes you one, because that's ego and we can still have fun. But if you are someone that desires to move through this, and I have so many friends in this lifetime that keep telling me, Eva, this is my last lifetime. And I'm like, I believe that for you. I absolutely believe that for you because of all the crazy things you've gone through. But I believe the journey to being limitless, to being able to expand your consciousness so broad, so far, so expansive that you can receive every single goddamn opportunity in this entire quantum field, is to be like water, is to have zero attachment to any of it, is to not have stories locking you hostage to all of these different events. The journey really is constantly hitting the nail on the head and being like, let go, let go, let go. Yes, this belief system got you here, but it's not going to get you there. Yes, everything you thought for the last month to get yourself here now needs to die so you can get yourself here. Yes, you need to completely and utterly look at this thing differently because you're out of source energy when you look at that. But there's no right or wrong, good or bad. The only indicator that you really have on this journey is if you're feeling in a lower vibration, you have a belief system in place that is not in alignment with the truth of all that you are. And it's really that simple. But we like to complicate it as humans and say, oh, but Jenny did this to me and Karen did that to me. And if it wasn't for my childhood, I wouldn't be here. And if this didn't go that way, I wouldn't be here. And I can't believe I made that choice. And we've got all these little entanglement stories instead of just going, I'm alive. I'm here to thrive. I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm going to smile for a little while. I'm going to play for a day. I'm going to dance and frolic and just simply be and scream to the sun, yippee, and just be present because I realize that there is no separation from all that is. I am the entire source. I am all of human consciousness wrapped up in this beautiful, potent beam of light. And I'm ready to ignite the spark within me because that was my journey. That was my truth. And so wherever you are, whatever you're doing, this is your reminder today to be limitless. I'm going to leave you with something that is really important, and I can't believe it's coming through right now. Many, many, many years ago, I was friends with this guy who was a musician in Brisbane. It's been a good decade since I spoke to him. Actually, we had a falling out. It was a long time ago. We had a falling out because I had him booked to come to a wedding showcase and he never, ever, ever turned up. And then he saw me a few months later and pretended like nothing happened. Absolutely pretended like nothing happened. And that actually obviously made me very upset and very angry because I was like, how can you be an avoidant? We had you booked for a gig. You didn't show up. You put everyone at the gig out. It was really irresponsible of you. So there was no accountability. So I stopped talking to him. 10 years passed. And my friend actually came out and said something similar happened at her brother's wedding and that he didn't turn up to her brother's wedding and then saw her months later and pretended it didn't happen. 10 years later, we see this news article and he's going to prison because he has raped and hurt, 18 women that have come out and spoken up against him. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is because something that I've noticed in this reality, and I'm not judging him, I'm not condemning him, and I'm not sharing this to gossip about him. My intention is pure, my intention is true. It's to share this to remind you that I feel like the most dangerous thing in human consciousness is avoiding the shadow. It's avoiding the conversations, it's avoiding the parts of ourselves and trying to brush them away to the side. And when we do that, we create a very large karmic bank. And when we create a large karmic bank, it always comes back to get us. It always comes back to, force us to see the truth of what we've been suppressing. So when I say live limitlessly and be like water, yes, be like water, go with the flow, but you're going to feel resistance when there are karmic lessons that are trying to get you to see certain things and you're not willing to see them. And I've seen this many, many, many times in our society. The most amount of karma that seems to be created is through lack of looking at those facets within us. So we must look at those facets within ourselves. We must be able to take radical responsibility and go, I fucked up. I wish I was more in integrity that day, but I wasn't. I wish I spoke my truth to you instead of lying about certain things. So whatever it is within you, this is our shadow, and this is why I'm obsessed with the shadow work, and I'm obsessed with the darkness, and I'm obsessed with going deep and being okay with the parts of self that you may feel are not perfect. So really, truly, and utterly just come into your heart and just say this prayer with me. I take radical acceptance and ownership of every part of myself. I heal and love every part of myself, even my darkness, that I continually choose to integrate and love as much as my light. Aho. And now you're going to start to find that every part of you just starts to come together, integrate, really sink in with self. And this also helps the abundance in your life, because you're no longer separating self. You're no longer going to have those yo-yo months in business. You're going to be able to pull in everything within your energy field so that you create a solid, larger container to attract more. Anyway, beautiful, wealthy, old souls, go out there, receive insane amounts of abundance, insane amounts of light. May you ignite, may you sleep tight. Goodness, what's happening with these rhymes? May you sleep tight tonight and just enjoy the journey, because heaven on earth does exist. I'm absolutely living it. If you're not on our mailing list and you're missing out on the meditations, the activations, all the incredible offers that are coming up, please quickly send us a DM or email support@evakasitsky.co so that we can get you on the mailing list. I love you. I see you. You are heaven on earth. That's why you deserve it. Big love, all the odds. Mwah.